Hey! From the Golden Treasury of Myths and Legends, we are reading Echo and Narcissus. Of all the mountain nymphs, none was more charming than Echo, but she had one fault. She talked too much. It was chatter, chatter all day long, and no matter what the subject, Echo always had the last word. Now one day, when Zeus was enjoying the company of the nymphs, Hera suddenly appeared. All hurried to get away except Echo, who, to distract the goddess, started to talk. She kept Hera amused so long that the nymphs made their escape. But Hera was furious when she found out how she had been deceived. "You shall never get the chance to do it again," she told Echo. "That amusing tongue of yours shall lose its power. From now on it will never be able to start chattering, nor do anything except the one thing you are so fond of. Reply." "Yes, indeed, you shall have the last word, Echo, but that is all you will have. Never will you be able to speak first." Soon after this, Echo found out just how bad her punishment was. She fell in love, and, as luck would have it, with a young hunter who could not love anybody but himself. Narcissus was an exceptionally handsome youth, but he was as cold as he was handsome. Poor Echo trailed all over the mountains after Narcissus. How she longed to speak to him and win his love by gentle words. Alas, she had not the power. Then one day, while Narcissus was hunting, it happened that he became separated from his companions. "Who's here?" he shouted. "Here," Echo replied. Narcissus looked around. He could see no one. "Come!" he called. Echo immediately answered, "Come!" Narcissus waited, but when no one came, he called again. "Why do you keep away from me?" "Away from me," Echo called back. "Let us meet," Narcissus said. "Let us meet," the nymph agreed with all her heart. She ran to the spot, arms upraised and ready to throw around his neck. Narcissus started back. "Do not touch me," he cried. "I would rather die than that you should touch me." "Touch me," Echo pleaded. But in vain. The young man strode off, leaving the nymph to hide her blushes in the thick woods. From that time on, Echo would never show herself. Caves and mountain cliffs became her home. Her body wasted away with grief and longing until all her flesh was gone. Her bones changed into rocks, and nothing was left of her but her voice, with which she still replies to anyone who calls. Cruel Narcissus! Echo was not the only being whose heart he broke, but at last he got what he deserved. A maiden whom he had spurned asked the goddess of vengeance to take her part. "Oh, may the time come," the girl prayed, "when Narcissus may feel what it is to love and get no love in return." And the avenging goddess heard. There was a sparkling spring in the hills, to which for some reason shepherds never drove their flocks. Neither did mountain goats nor any beast of the forest ever drink from it. Fresh green grass grew all around, and rocks sheltered the spring from the sun. The water in the pool was clear as polished silver. Not a dead branch, not a dead leaf polluted it. To this pool one day Narcissus came, worn out with hunting, hot and thirsty. He stooped down to drink, and saw his lovely image in the water. "It is the water spirit," he thought, for he had never seen his own reflection before. Enchanted, he knelt down to look, and could not take his gaze away. He bent close to place a kiss upon the parted lips, and stretch out his arms to clasp the lovely being. At his touch the image dissolved into 1,000 ripples, but even as he watched it came back as clear as before. "Beautiful being," Narcissus said, "why do you flee from me? Surely my face cannot displease you, for every nymph of the mountains is in love with me, and you yourself look as if you are not indifferent. Your smile answers mine. When I stretch out my arms to you, you do the same." Tears of longing rolled down his cheeks and splashed into the silver pool. At once the image fled again. "Stay, oh stay," he pleaded. "If I may not touch you, let me at least gaze upon you." He was unable to tear himself away. Day after day he hung over the water, feasting his eyes on his own reflection. Love, which he had so often scorned, now so consumed him that he lost his colour, and was no more than a waxy image of himself. All he could do was sigh. "Alas! Alas!" And Echo answered him, "Alas!" At last Narcissus faded away altogether and passed from the upper world, but even as his shade was being ferried to the regions of the dead, it looked down into the river Styx to catch a last beloved reflection. The nymphs who had given their hearts to him heaped wood into a funeral pyre, and would have burned his body as the custom was, but his remains were nowhere to be found. Only a wax-white flower with a purple heart stood in the place where he had knelt and sighed, and to this flower the grieving maidens gave his name, Narcissus. I really hope I pronounced that correctly.